Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the latest film in the Shrek franchise. Let's rank all 6 of the films from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name's Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more up and coming content. Leave your list down below. How would you rank all 6 of the Shrek films from worst to best, including the 2 Puss in Boots films? Coming in last place is Shrek the Third. I remember getting this film on DVD when it was released for Christmas and watching it. After the highs of Shrek and Shrek 2, I was disappointed with this film. I still think it's somewhat enjoyable because of the chemistry between Shrek and Donkey and Puss in Boots and all of the other characters involved in the film. There's some humor within it, don't get me wrong. But I think that the film presents Shrek in a way that he doesn't want to be bothered with his position in this film after the king passes away in the beginning of the film. He's a character that really doesn't want to be bothered in most of the films, but for this story, it's a journey for him to replace someone in his position. It's really hard to get invested in the storyline. And I really didn't like Justin Timberlake's character in here either. There are some times where the chemistry and that relationship does feel very forced, and I can't really latch on to that because he is so annoyed by everything that's going on. And I know that's Shrek as a character, but it's hard in this film. We have the side story going on with Princess Fiona and everything, and I just feel like certain moments just feel weak. It isn't as charming as the previous 2 Shrek films. There are some funny moments, but for the most part, it is a forgettable animated film. Coming in 5th place is Shrek Forever After. When I first watched this film, I would say it was the last film on this list, but it's grown on me. I like that Shrek has a chance to reflect on his life, and he wants it to change. He wants to kind of go back to where he was in the first film. But throughout this film, and we see different versions of these characters that we've loved throughout the years, seeing them in a different way is fun, but we have Shrek having a chance to reflect on his life and realize what is important. So it's a personal storyline for Shrek. When you get to the 4th film, you don't want to make it feel tired, so you have to make it feel fresh. And I think that Shrek Forever After did just that, while kind of switching dynamics up, giving some new elements to it. The jokes are there, it's pretty funny, and I like that Shrek had that chance to kind of think about his life and what he wanted and grow from that. So it's a good story. It's not as funny as the previous Shrek films, but I do think that the story is better than the 3rd film. Coming in 4th place is Puss in Boots. I enjoyed the 2 solo Puss in Boots films. The first one is a lot of fun. It's entertaining. I like Zach Galifianakis in here, and I think that his character works alongside Puss in Boots pretty well. There is some ups and downs to that relationship, and they implement a lot of fairy tale creatures within here. It's kind of your average story. You got your twists and turns to it. It does got that fun adventure feel to it. Puss in Boots is a character that I feel like it's always doing something and just always moving, and I feel like a solo adventure film works for him. This is a chance for him to kind of show off his skill set and why he's such a cool character. The visuals are pretty good, and for when it was released, I thought there was a lot of jokes that did work. We got to explore a little more of Puss in Boots and why he's such a fun character. Selma Hayek's character in here was a great addition, and she worked alongside Puss in Boots very well. There's some big action scenes. You feel the scope is pretty big. It's an entertaining film I really don't have too much problems with, but at times it just feels kind of average at best, but still a fun film. Coming in 3rd place is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This was a huge improvement on the last Puss in Boots films, and I didn't think that we were going to get a sequel, but I absolutely loved this film. One of the best animated films of 2022. There's so much growth for Puss in Boots to where he doesn't even feel like the same character we got from that first film. He's on his last life. He has to reflect on it. He wants this wish, but then he starts to think about what he has in front of him may be all that he needs. And all the other fairy tale creatures, from Little Jack Horner and Goldilocks and the Three Bears, they're all reflecting on their lives as well. So this last wish is challenging all of these characters to confront their feelings, to confront themselves and what they actually want. We have this therapy dog that adds for so much humor, adult humor in here. But when Puss in Boots has these anxiety attacks, and is stressed out, this therapy dog is there to calm him down. And that really brings out a new element for Puss in Boots. He's not the same character, and he's someone new, and he's being challenged quite often. I love the deep personal approach to this film. The emotional moments are there. The new style to animation feels welcomed. The jokes are hilarious. I love the story. The villain in here, the wolf, is menacing. I love what they did with this film. I was surprised that they had the same kind of action and humor, but also implemented a deep personal side to it. There was a lot of references to Shrek and the other characters, and the way that it ended, I can't wait to see what they do next. Coming in second place is Shrek 2. This was a hard one because both films, Shrek and Shrek 2, are great animated films, some of the best of all time. Shrek 2 has such a good soundtrack, and I love that Shrek and Fiona are now an established couple. We don't have to have them understanding each other. The conflict that Fiona's father has with Shrek, it feels very realistic for a film having ogres and fairy tale creatures. There's so many relatable moments in here, but the energy in this film is chaotic. It is so fun having Puss in Boots, the fairy godmother, Prince Charming, so many new fairy tale creatures in here. They add to the story and the excitement for this film. It's got a fun story. It's got some great characters and some fun voice acting. The humor is there. I've always loved Shrek 2. It's one of the best sequels of all time. One of the best animated sequels as well. But coming in first place is Shrek, the first Shrek film. I love this film. Seeing that relationship grow between Shrek and Donkey. It's not perfect at times, but it's fun, and seeing them work alongside each other. Donkey is absolutely annoying, voiced by Eddie Murphy, but he grows on Shrek, voiced by Mike Myers. And we see that progression at the end of the film. Shrek is able to tell people how he is feeling when he learns a little more of Fiona and starts to, have these feelings for her. Where he was in the beginning of the film, didn't want to be bothered by anybody. And then at the end of the film, he wants to express his feelings for Fiona. It's a great transition for this character. Lord Farquaad as the villain, it's hilarious. And so many fairy tale creatures in here. The soundtrack is amazing. Smash Mouth song in the beginning is iconic. It's just such a great film. I think I was the right age for when Shrek was released. If I was a little bit younger when Shrek 2 came out, I think I would appreciate it just a little more, because I was in 7th grade when Shrek 2 came out, so I was a little bit younger when the first Shrek film came out. But I watched that first film so many times with that VHS cover that was pretty big for no reason. But that film, it's just amazing. One of my favorite animated films of all time. The soundtrack is in your face. The humor is there. The progression of the characters, the voice acting, Cameron Diaz and Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, they all play off of each other very well. Fiona is such a fun character. There's so many great moments in here. I absolutely love Shrek. And I hope that they do a 5th film and another Puss in Boots film, because this is a franchise that has potential for more and more films, more spin-offs in this fairy tale world, this Shrek universe. So leave your ranking down below. How would you rank all 6 of the Shrek films from worst to best? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.